A value has to reflect you, not what you want to do with your customer, but who you are. You want to know the people that you work for, that you know your customers, and even your employees or people, your stakeholders, whatever. You want them to know who you are, what you believe in. That's the whole difference. Well, this is the first episode of three, or three, which is dedicated to brand identity. Now, brand identity is a very, very broad topic to discuss, and I'm not going to go into that. I'm not an expert in the brand identity from a communicational point of view, but I do have some knowledge about brand identity from a personal point of view. And it doesn't make much difference if it's for yourself or if it's for a company, for example. It is important that we know what is important for us because that is what we want to transfer outside, what we want to communicate outside, what we want people know about us, what we believe in, what we cherish, what drives us. All this has to do with brand identity. Now, why three episodes? Because the first one, which is this, will focus on values, which is the base. It's just like the basic thing to do. Everything starts from your values. But we have to understand what values are for real. I mean, because many people think that values are things that we like, that we give some importance to. It's a bit more complex than that. Now, I'm not going to make it complex here. They see these three episodes will be very much light as far as understanding and complexity is concerned. The topic is much more complex, and you need professionals to be able to handle that. But what I'm trying to do here with these three episodes, especially if you're a professional, if you're not a big company, but if you're a professional, that you can work on these things on your own, or at least you will have some important input. The brand identity is giving an identity to your brand. Now, if you're a professional, it's you are the brand. So that means that you give identity to yourself. That's basically what it is. Brand identity. Or for a solopreneur. If you have a company, a bigger company, then there's another different type of work that you have to involve other people. So you can really come up with a strong identity. But if you're like a small company, you can do it on your own. And what you will find out working on your values for your business also applies for your private worth. So you get to know people a lot better. You're going to know yourself a lot better, which will allow you to connect with like-minded people, friends, for example, colleagues, clubs, associations, whatever. The fact is that if you do not know what your values are, you will just go after anything. And it's going to be very dispersive. Okay? You're going to waste a lot of your energy instead of focusing on what's really important and follow through with the people in the context that share the same values with you. That's how important it is to know what your values are. Now, let's start with, what are values? Well, it's like the word says, it is what you value, what you give importance to, what you really think is important in life. Now, values are not material things. They may manifest through material things. Like, for example, a car. Okay? You will choose if you have, if you have enough money that you can choose the car that you want, you will, without really being aware of it at this stage, you will choose the car that you feel more connected with from a point of view of values. And you will make all decisions and choices depending on those values. Now, instead of just guessing what's the best thing for you, when you work on your values, you will know what you have to pursue. That's the biggest difference. And it's not a minor thing. So most of our values are inherited. In other words, we have taken the things that we value a lot of it depends on the environment. Family, school, workplace, country you live in, or even region within a country that you live in, or even your neighborhood, for that matter. So depending on what each one of these contexts believe in other words, what their values are, you will tend to inherit that and make yours, but they're not yours. You've simply taken them. Well, you haven't even taken them, you just received them. And however, there are also values that you adopt out of experiences, out of learning. In other words, you read things, you get interested in things, and you read certain things, and you follow on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever social, you will choose a group of people, of communities that are like-minded from a cultural point of view and values. But if you are aware of those values, that's going to be a lot simpler for you. Otherwise, you will have to go through a process of trial and error. And you go to some, oh yeah, I think I like that. I'll go there. I'll sign up to that club, to that association, to that community. I'll even spend money if necessary. Then you go there, yeah, but I don't know. There's something about this thing here that doesn't really appeal to me that much. Perhaps at the beginning was just glamour. I don't know. But ultimately, you don't feel attracted. That's because you haven't got your values. When you do, you don't have to guess anymore. Professionally or personally. That's how strong it is. Now, when it comes to business, I would invite you to check a few websites, just like this, random, of a professional, perhaps your competitor or friends. Some of these, not all of them, but some of these websites will tell you what their values are, what their mission is, what their vision is. But pay attention, especially to the values, if they include them. They may not include values, not all the time. They will include mission and vision, but not always values. Just check this out. There are two major mistakes that people make with values. The first one is that they're too common. Why? You will find the same values. Quality, could be efficiency, it could be courtesy, kindness, it could be punctuality, it could be service, whatever. That's because people are focused on the client. And people say, that's what the client wants. So that is what I will transmit to them. That's wrong for two reasons. Because they are opportunistic values. They're not your values. It's just they're just baits that you use so that the customer, the client will go for it. And the other mistake about this, the other thing that is wrong is that it's too common. Everybody chooses those for the same reason, for opportunistic reasons. So people who read your values are just about the same as your competitor and say, oh, what's the difference here? They both believe in the same things. A value has to reflect you, not what you want to do with your customer, but who you are. You want to know the people that you work for, that your customers, and even your employees or people, your stakeholders, whatever. You want them to know who you are, what you believe in. That's the whole difference. And the other big mistake is that they perhaps may choose big values, freedom, equality, and justice, and honor, and peace. Okay, what does it say about you? That you love all these things? Everybody does. You know anybody who does not like freedom or peace or justice? They're coming, and they're too big for you. Doesn't say anything about you. So you have to be very specific about the values that you want to adopt for your business or for your life. what is the best way to understand what your values are? Because the fact that we believe in something doesn't mean that we believe in them consciously. Many of the things that we believe in are unconscious. We are not aware of it. But it's important that we do become aware. So one thing you need to do is ask yourself questions. On what? Okay, let's say, for example, would you like to go on vacation? Why? Why those places? The beach, mountain, the historical sites, or exotic places. Why? There must be a reason why you're going there and not somewhere else. That depends on your values. What are you looking for? I go to the beach for fun, to make friends. So friendship is a value, for example. I like movement. So dynamism is another value for me. It makes you understand that. What if you go to like, for example, a European city, like in Italy? There's so many of them. Okay, where I mean, monuments, all these historical sites. Why? For knowledge. To know about my past. Where do I come from? It's a values. Or you can ask yourself a second question: do you have a hobby? What hobby? Why are you have what's so important to you about that hobby? What does it give you? What makes you feel connected with that hobby that you will do work for free? You're not making money out of a hobby usually. You don't. So what attracts you that will make you, give the time to it? If you support, you could give it to something else or to somebody else, but you choose that. So what's important about your hobby? Or perhaps what kind of music do you listen to? What books do you read? What movies do you go to? Or do you watch? Depending on the type of movie or the books that you have values. If it's nonfiction, for example, nonfiction books, or documentaries, what are the topics that you are most interested in? Even that will give you some kind of clue of what your values are. Or what political party do you vote for? Left, right, center, whatever. Okay. Each one of these sides have specific values, which are important to you. So, see, this is the first part of brand identity, knowing what your values are. After that, when your values are very straight and strong in your mind, you can decide what logo you're going to have, what colors will represent you, what shapes, what kind of gimmicks or advertisement you're going to have, what you will transfer, what you will communicate. Only after you know what your values are can you really do that. Otherwise, it's just wild guess. I'm going to make a nice spot about my place. Yeah, but what are you going to communicate? If you do not have that, you do not have a brand identity. And you want people to identify with you, which is you. So next episode is for mission, which is going to be very interesting. Why? Because mission is built on values. That's why values is the first thing. Then you'll reach. See you next time.